everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J, and today I'm reviewing and demoing the new Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy eyeshadow palette for holiday 2019, and this is the sequel to the original palette, which was the Gingerbread Spice palette from last year. So if you guys didn't get a chance to see my video on this, I'll link it down below. It's from a whole year ago. You know I upload a lot, so it's a lot of videos ago, so don't worry about looking for it. I'll have it right down in the description box for your convenience. So here's the new palette, the Extra Spicy palette. I picked this one up from Sephora. It's also available at other retailers that sell Too Faced. I will have them also linked down below for you all. This palette is limited edition and it retails for $49. As you all can see, it has gingerbread cookies on here. It has a cookie man and a gingerbread cookie woman. And then the original one only had the man on here. And so now that we have the Extra Spicy one, we have the lady, and she's winking her eye, letting us know what's good. So here's the actual palette, and it's pretty heavy. It has the tin packaging, which I like. I think that's really neat. And then it has the raised design. So this is classic Too Faced packaging. They do this packaging time and time again, and this one is no exception. The palette does have a mirror. I'm just going to place my box over it so I'm not blinding you all. But here are the eyeshadows. It's a warm toned eyeshadow palette. It has a mix of finishes. We have the mattes and we have the shimmers. And then the shimmers is two different ones that I could tell. One of the shimmers has a little bit more of an apparent gritty glitter texture, and the other one is more so of a metallic, more finely milled shimmer. And then the mattes are all pretty much formulated the same way. If you all have never tried Too Faced eyeshadow palettes, they typically have a scent. This one is no different. It smells like cookies. I also want to mention that I purchased this palette myself. I know a lot of people know that I am on Too Faced PR list, but they do not send me every single launch. They send me pretty much the major things that they launched. So the last thing that they sent me was the Damn Girl mascara, but they don't send me all of their palettes and all their other little launches that they do throughout the year. But I just want to throw that out there for anybody who is curious. I want to go ahead and jump into the swatches of this palette. I'm going to swatch it row by row, and then following that, I'll show you all how to create this look, and then we'll talk about my thoughts about this palette at the end of the video. So I hope that you all enjoy. So I'm taking a blending brush. This is the Sonia G Crease 2 brush in the color Butterscotch. So I'm applying this in my crease, and I already have on my eyeshadow primer, the Anastasia eye primer, and this is going on like velvet. Okay, so back and forth, I'm taking this color. That's a really nice transition color. It packs a punch, but it's still light. Same brush, and I'm going to dip into the color Extra Spicy, which is the namesake of the palette. And I'm going to take this directly in the crease. I'm not going to take this color as high up as I took the first color. I just want this one to be directly in the crease. And this is going to add some definition, and it'll help tie in my lip color. I am feeling this color. Same brush, and I'm going to dip into the color Cookie Call. I'm going to pop this right on the very outer corner. Oh, well then. When I say this is taking little to no effort to apply, that blended out so nicely and so quickly. I'm impressed. Taking a Reference 02 brush in the color Spicy Mommy. I just want this color right on the edge on the lid. So I'm leaving a lot of space open here. Same brush, and I'm going to take the color Candy Queen because my mama's name is Candy. I am going to take this color and pack it on the rest of the lid. I am going to leave a little bit of space open on the inner corner though. So carefully pack this color on. I don't want to cover up this color right here, and I don't want to take it above the crease because I want to keep all of that beautiful work that I did blending out those crease colors. Pencil brush, and let's take Cookie Cutter. Let's pop that on the inner corner. Now let me do liner and lashes, and I'll be right back. I'm going back with Cookie Cutter on the lower inner corner. Next, I'm going to go into the color Gingerbread Glam and take this color all along the rest of the lower lash line. So here's the finished look using the Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette. What do you all think about my look? I think that my eyes look really pretty. I think that they look very typical for fall. The warm tones, the golden tones, the burnt orange. So the colors that are really reminiscent of fall are present in this palette. And I think that it translates onto my eye. So the color story, like I said, is pretty typical. I think that we have this in our collection, but if you are in the market for a warm toned eyeshadow palette, then boom, it has what you need. It has your mix of finishes, it has your mattes, it has your inner tear duct colors, it has several different lid color options. So you can do a few different looks using this palette. I think my look is very classic that I have on my lids. It's not something that you've never seen anybody else do before. It's not something that you've never seen me do before. Just a standard autumn makeup look, and sometimes that's okay. I'm not faulting the palette for being a basic color story, because sometimes we need color stories that are basic. We need them to be redone. We need them to have the new technologies to make the formulation better and to make it easier to use. So did this palette do that? I think they did with the matte eyeshadows. The matte eyeshadows in this palette are so good. These are the best matte eyeshadows that I have ever seen Too Faced do. And these matte eyeshadows are up there with some of the top tier matte eyeshadows that I've been using this entire year. So as technology progresses, makeup companies are progressing too, and they're coming through with the cutting edge makeup formulas, and the formulations are getting a little bit more buttery. They're getting a lot more pigmented. They're getting a lot less powdery, and they're overall improving. So the matte eyeshadow formula is a vast improvement from what they've been doing, and what they've been doing wasn't bad, but it wasn't this. So this is amazing. I cannot say the same thing for the shimmer eyeshadows though. I think the shimmers in here lack pigmentation. I mean, you can definitely build them up and get them there. They're not horrible, but at the same time, they're not great either. They're not that very velvety, pigmented, very finely milled type shimmer that we're used to. If Too Faced had put the same shimmery metallic eyeshadow formula that they had in the chocolate gold palette in this palette would likely be one of my absolute favorite warm toned eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection. But since they didn't, I'm feeling like they left a little bit to be desired with the shimmer eyeshadows, just because they're pretty crumbly. You can get them to perform, but I would recommend using a glitter glue or some type of spray just to make them pop and make them a little bit smoother to apply. They need to be a little bit more finely milled. I shouldn't have to have fallout with them. And then the ones that don't have fallout, the metallic ones, they should pop a little bit more. I know every single palette is not going to be blinding in the eyeshadow formula. I know that, but Too Faced is not really known for being just super natural. So I'm looking for that from them, and I really didn't get it. So this palette is not a 100% miss, because like I said, the shimmers do perform and the mattes just really wow me, but it's just not replacing my love for this palette, because I think this palette is perfection, and Too Faced has not come out with anything that has replaced that for me yet, and this came out 2 years ago. So when looking at the extra spicy palette in comparison to the original one, I do prefer this one because I like the color story more. I think the colors are a little bit more poppy. I think these colors really complement my complexion more, and the original Gingerbread Spice palette is a warm toned palette as well, but these colors are just a little bit more muted, and they have more of a plum element to it, which I don't mind, but if I'm picking, I do like this one more. The mattes in here were really nice, but I think the shimmers in here are better than the mattes. So if they could switch formulas, so if I could have the shimmer formula from this palette and the matte formula from this palette, but this color story, this palette would just be everything. And I would use it probably every single day, because that's how much I love the matte eyeshadows in here. So I think that I would reach for this one more, just because these colors are more colors that are suited for me and colors that I would use. But since the shimmering eyeshadows are just not va-va-voom, I don't love it. So let me know your thoughts on this palette down in the comment section. I look forward to reading you all's comments, and I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super soon. Smooches. Bye.